Now that you're going into this year, what are some things that you learned last year that could help prepare you for this upcoming season?
Finishing off last year, starting those last few games, kind of just learning how to, play full speed, play as a starter, kind of just perfecting my craft, really, with T-Mac and Montana, being gone. They kind of just taught me the more leadership role I should take on, really, and, kind of matured my game, up to this point. So really just learning how to, play in the flow of a game. So some things I learned.
And obviously it's not the result that you guys wanted, but the TCU game and the 2 touchdowns that you had, what did you think you showed?
I think at that point in the season I was pretty comfortable at that point. And I just played like myself. Really, I showed, I could, make those plays and make those catches when needed. And I think, Noah trusted me and, the whole staff trusted me up to that point. So, kind of just show what I've been practicing on and what I've been working in my craft.
And then Trey, how's it been so far just being here?
Oh, it's been amazing. Coming out of high school, I was always a huge fan of Arizona. They're the first big school to recruit me. So I've always loved the area, Tucson. And honestly, just, Coach Wade, Coach Brennan, everybody's been so loving and accepting of me. So that's been huge, just being comfortable, having, older guys, guys who have been here, like Chris, help guide me along, show me how things are done over here versus K-State. So that's been huge, and overall, I've just been loving my experience here.
And then Chris, he's one of the newcomers. What have you seen from him, and also some of the other guys that you guys had?
Oh yeah, for sure. Honestly, I think everyone who came in plays with high intensity, brings insane energy and competition into the receiver room, and I think it's only elevated, all of us, and that's something that's not teachable, and just the jump that I've seen just from when they all first came in to second day of spring practice. I mean, the room is really talented and it's really special, and we all bond as brothers, honestly. And I mean, it's a special group for sure.
Trey, when you first entered the portal, how quickly did that come about in terms of Arizona being interested in the mutual interests there and you coming to Tucson?
I'd say it was pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? They like I said, from high school even to the transfer portal, one of the first schools to really get on me. So immediately I knew that I had to set up a visit. I had to come back home, see what the vibes are, and Coach made that an extremely welcoming experience on my visit. Showed me love, showed me everything, showed me how I could be utilizing this offense on the field, and that was the biggest thing for me.
Not only with Coach Brennan, but Coach Wade, what are those relationships like, and how quickly did you guys connect?
Coach Wade, I love Coach Wade. And it wasn't hard to familiarize myself with him because in a way he almost acts similar to my old coach. A lot of energy, really fun, always cracking jokes, but will get on you and make sure that you're doing the right things. He's taught me so much in a little time. We barely started spring practices, but even throughout the just time I've been here, coming in to meet with him, he's expanded my game to levels I didn't think would expand that quick.
Question for both. First for Chris, how are the route concepts and just kind of the things you were doing maybe a little bit different than last year?
I just say Daggy, in his new offense, we very high pace, high tempo, so everything's just more vertical, more stretched. It's a new offense to learn, so we just playing at a higher pace. I say Daggy's just teaching us his scheme, stretching the field. That's pretty much it.
And then for you, Trey, as kind of like an ex-guy, what's just kind of your responsibilities out there?
My responsibilities, man, get open, for real. But I love this new offense Coach Daggy's bringing in. It's extremely versatile. We've got a lot of versatile receivers that can be moved around anywhere on the field. You know what I'm saying? So I think that with the talent that we bring in and the offense that Coach Daggy's bringing, we're going to be really explosive.
And then for Chris, with T-Mac in the room last year, of course, how was it kind of picking his brain and being able to kind of step into those shoes as like that number one receiver in the room? And then how do you, being the veteran now, how do you share that with all the new faces?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, T-Mac was a special talent, not just in what he could do on the field, but his knowledge of the game, you know, and how he carried himself off the field. I mean, he was a top player in the nation, both on and off the field. I mean, the way he took care of his body, the way he thought the game, you know, he kind of just showed me around and showed me how to think the game in ways I would have never thought, you know, and obviously he's one of the hardest practicing players, you know, you'll ever meet. So just seeing that and being around that for, you know, as long as he came in, you know, I've been in with him. We came in the same 22 class. So being around that, you know, being around really a great player, it's easy to collect that. And then the leadership role, I think not just him, but Bobby and our strength coach and the head coach have pushed me to kind of, you know, step out of my comfort zone and be more of a leader, you know, as I'm one of like the older guys in the group. And so I just try to, you know, do my best to step into that leadership role and kind of, you know, show these guys, teach some things I know, and obviously they great players too, so they got some things to teach me. So we kind of bounce off each other, and I just try to, you know, lead the way.
Troy. Chris, Brendan and Wade both talked about in terms of adding speed at the receiving position and getting more speed in that room. What have you seen thus far? What can speed do for the group in terms of positivities with that?
Oh, I mean, I think it's obvious. This room, like Trey said, is insanely explosive now. I mean, we added speed at every level of the field, first level, second level, and third level. I mean, we're definitely going to be taking the top off this year. And, you know, speed is important in general, not just speed down the field, but doing everything with speed, releasing with speed, thinking the game with speed with the new offense. So, honestly, I think the receiver room is just so much faster now, and it's going to unlock a whole new route tree, you know, and new concepts that we can run that, you know, will just help us in the future.
Is there an adjustment in terms of what you guys did in terms last year, the offensive pace to this up-tempo offense? Is there an adjustment for the receiving corps? Or is that you're just playing football and it's just a little bit more high-tempo for you guys?
I mean, if you're not coming from a, you know, no huddle offense, like last year, we huddled. This year, we're not huddling as much. So the only difference really is just, you know, we trained all offseason just conditioning, really, in that instance, because you got to not just condition your body, condition your mind. You got to think faster when you get into the line faster and when you're running faster. So just the pacing is just a little different. But at the end of the day, I mean, we probably all played some form of, you know, high tempo offense like I did in high school. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're playing football, but just higher pace.
So Chris, when you're kind of an emerging prospect, and even when, you know, the team doesn't do so well, some guys go into the portal, they leave the program. What led you to come back?
I didn't have any thoughts about hitting the portal. I just felt there was no reason. Everything I need here, so it wasn't even a thought for me, honestly.
And then what can you say about just the culture here going into year 2 in running?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody just feel it. It feels different. There's something about it. It feels way different. You know, Brennan and, you know, his staff have done a tremendous job of just bringing everybody all in, and, you know, He's himself. He's Brennan, you know, and I think this is going to be a special year. Bobby, he's still Bobby Wade. You know, he's just picking the energy up. You know, Noah has stepped into a way bigger leadership role. He's way more vocal. You know, he doesn't let us slack off either. So I think everybody kind of feel that energy. You know what I'm saying? It's a new energy in the building. So I think that's pretty much everybody feeling it.
And then Trey, how's it being teammates with Genesis again?
Oh yeah, that's what's up, man. That's my best friend. We've been homeboys since 8th grade, pretty much. So I'm happy. He was definitely like, you know, wanting to get on me about, you know, Arizona for sure. He's a dude who brings a lot of energy, and he's a hard worker, one of the hardest workers I know. And I know that, you know, with him stepping up in the leadership role as well this year, he's going to bring everybody else with him. You know what I'm saying? You catch practices. You know, after practices, after you know, PRPs, you see him bringing all the DBs over to go catch balls. You know, he lifts me up, I lift him up. We're real competitive, always going at it with each other. So I think that it's a great dynamic to have between friends, especially being on offense and defense. We're able to help push the team, and, you know, in our own ways.
I was gonna say it's early, but have you guys matched up against each other at all?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm looking forward to it though.
We have time for one more.
I guess question for both. What's it like being in the offense with Noah Fafita? What's he like as a leader?
I could start. I mean, I've been around Noah since I first got here. And even before he started into the starting role, I usually was taking reps with him in general. So just from the beginning, I mean, he's a super humble kid, super down to earth guy, and I mean, he's always picking everybody up. He's always, especially now, going into this year, you could tell he got a new fire lit under him. He's not trying to prove anybody wrong, just proving himself right. And that's all that matters. And you could feel that new energy that he brings. And he's a special talent. One of the most accurate quarterbacks you'll ever meet. One of the most hardworking dudes you'll ever meet. One of the nicest people you ever meet. So I mean, playing with him is a blessing.